98% of all home service businesses do not have coverage.
We're making literally millions of dollars for customers within like their first week of going live with same day. We've built an AI that actually can outperform the best.
Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome back to Exit Rich Podcast. I'm sitting here with Aaron Cooper, the CEO and founder of Same Day AI. And what Aaron does is it's interesting. He helps contractors book more leads and make money. I mean, that's what your product does. It's an AI technology, but we use it here at LB Capital. We use it in all of ours, so I can vouch for the product. Aaron, I consider you a friend. I'm happy to have you on the podcast because I know you help so many contractors around the country. You got an awesome company. We're going to talk about how you help contractors, how your product works, why you need to use AI. They're not a roofing company, they're not an HVAC company. They are a technology company. I talk about that all the time on here. And Aaron, we're going to talk about your own challenges building your company, about what you have to do as a leader, also raising money because it's a SaaS product. You're going to burn a lot of money at first in development, R&D. We're going to talk about that. So welcome to the podcast. Tell everybody who you are, Aaron, and I love your office view.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, we've been around about 4 years, building AI agents for the trades. Most any home service vertical now is using same day. We've got literally thousands of locations around the US, Canada, Australia that are covered by same day AI agents 24/7, right?
Okay. What's the same AI do, right? We're going to get that energy out of you, Aaron. We're going to get that energy I felt at our last conference together. We're going to get that here on the podcast. So let's bring it up a little bit. What does same day AI actually do? How does it work? What's it do?
Dude, I mean, with same day AI, we started out building AI sales agents. So like effectively teaching an AI all of the best tricks, tips, tactics that you go and like when you hire a killer off the street, and you run across a guy and you're like, damn, I need to hire that guy to run my sales team. Or maybe you want to get into door-to-door sales, which I know you guys do a bit of with LB.
Yep, we have a canvas team. Yep.
You know that feeling when you like just meet a killer and like this guy is going to do really, really well. We wanted to build that into an AI. We wanted to teach it not only how to like, oh, look at your schedule in Service Titan. We wanted to teach it how to like overcome the hardest objections, how to literally sweet talk, Miss Susie to get here to go forward with your services and to stop calling the next company and going down the list on Google local service ads. That's really where when the rubber hits the road, that's why people hire same day AI versus all the other noise that you're in the space is like everybody else has features. We're getting into the nitty gritty of like what exactly these best employees should do. Right. And it's killer, dude. We're making literally millions of dollars for customers within like their first week of going live with same day.
So how does same day work? I mean, this is why I want you to bring it down to the contractors and the business owners listening to this, because you know what your product is, but how does it work? Does same day AI call out? Is it only taking inbound leads? Does it replace your CSR? Is it add on to your CSR? Is it all the above?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, but what's it actually do? I mean, I know how you like. What's it do?
Oh, for sure. There's a variety of workflows that we have that come out of the box. I would say whether or not it replaces your CSRs or what, that's up to you. We don't try to push our customers in any direction. What we want them to know is that when you send us a lead, like we don't want we do, we'll handle like the low stakes stuff, but we specialize in the high stakes stuff. Like when you've spent $400 to generate a phone call on Google local service ads, like you send that to the AI because it's closing 90+%. Like we have customers,
when you say closing, you mean it's booking 90-something%?
No, dude, we have customers that will not dispatch a technician until the customer has agreed to a 2-year contract for recurring services. Like in HVAC and stuff, yeah, like you book a job, you send someone out, they might pay a dispatch fee, some companies don't. Like, dude, we've been doing this for years. And our AI is outperforming like actual salespeople. I stood up in front of a conference. Have you heard of Door-to-Door Con?
Yeah. What's that? Taggart, Sam Taggart,
yeah,
Sean
yeah.
Taggart?
Great,
nice guy.
Great guys. Guy. I stood up in front of their conference. I don't know how many people, 2,000 or 3,000 people. It was pretty big. And I was like, I guarantee you that same day AI will outperform every person in this room at sales. Like we teach the AI within seconds how to identify
What's it
person.
closing? Is it closing a maintenance agreement for the HVAC company? It's not selling a brand new unit. I can tell you that because you don't know what the problem is.
Well, we cover a lot of industries like HVAC. You guys obviously do roofing, and there's like certain things that are involved. Like every industry has its nuance.
I know, but I'm saying, like, to tell me what it sold a 2-year contract on. Was it maintenance? I believe
pest control services in this case. In that specific example, yeah. I mean, it's selling 1,000. Yeah, people are signing up for a bi-monthly or a quarterly service, paying a few $100s every quarter. The AI is getting them to commit to a 2-year contract, saying, "Hey, like if you try to get out of this, you're gonna pay a fat fee." Obviously, it doesn't say it that way, but it has to understand how to negotiate, how to create value, right?
But
and
the core of your AI is booking leads. That's the core. I know some people are using it for the sales part, right? But I'm gonna have to say 90% of your customers plus are using it for booking leads.
But it's all sales. Like that's the one thing that people always be selling. Are you familiar with the phrase? Like whether it's booking leads or selling a contract.
I'm trying to dumb this down for the listeners. Like I'm not trying to be rude to you. Like it's selling. They're gonna say this guy's full of shit. I'm sitting here thinking this guy's full of shit. And I know you're not because I use your product.
Yeah.
But your product doesn't sell for LB Capital, but I can acquire millions and millions of dollars that we attribute to same day II booking the lead for us. It didn't sell the lead for us. It booked it. It took the woman's name. It took what her problem was, took her address, took her phone number, put it in there, and then we scheduled it out through Service Titans Dispatch Pro.
Yeah.
Like that has to be one of the main functions that you're doing
sure.
at first. Like you got to crawl before you run. Right, I'm not trying to be difficult with you, and I love having you here.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to lose a lot of listeners if you don't break it down to the simplest forms, what it does first, and then you jump to the second part.
Yeah. So in those conversations where it's scheduling the lead, like in your case, a lot of what we train into the models generally carry over. So for example, when someone calls in and they want to schedule a roofing inspection or they have issues with gutters, like in your case, really quickly, the AI is identifying their personality type and actually adjusting how it speaks to Miss Susie, right? It understands, like, does Miss Susie need more information up front in order to make a decision? Because what's really happening, even on like the simplest of leads, right, where you're just booking an inspection, maybe there's a dispatch fee, definitely not like your textbook sales situation, but you're still competing against 5 or 6 other companies that are on Miss Susie's list on Google Local Services or whatever ad platform they're coming from. And you have to get Miss Susie to stop, right? Because if she doesn't stop, right, she might go book with whoever's the first company, whatever, right? But if you can identify, and this is what we train the AI to do, we train it to identify, hey, what does Miss Susie need without her telling us explicitly? What does she need to know to get her to stop scrolling? Right. And so the sales aspect translates over in that aspect. Obviously, we're not selling a contract or getting people to sign for the new roof in your case, but it's still helpful.
I mean, I know you guys, when you do take the inbound lead and speed the lead, I know you're close to about 90% booked with us, meaning lead comes in, you book it to appointment, which I think is good, right? I'm happy with that. I think people don't realize. And I think where most people are going to start with this, and I know some people rip their CSR team totally out and go straight the same day. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that all the way, right? Because I think you want to crawl, walk, run, right?
Yeah.
We've been on the product for probably 1.5 years now, correct?
Yep.
Right? And we've seen the growth, we've seen the change with it, and we love it. I guess, what I'm saying is it seems like most people, and correct if I'm wrong, are first going to use, it's a simple way to get on is saying, listen, we don't answer our phones here at night. We don't answer it on the weekends. We don't have a call out center at night and on the weekends. Why wouldn't everyone just use same day AI for that at first? Just because the entry point to sign up with you guys is so low, such a low investment. Almost no matter what the vertical is, one client pays for itself. I mean, what's the biggest obstacle you guys have with that? Because I just don't see the reason why someone say no.
Oh, totally. I mean, we don't get a lot of no's, frankly. And like, there's a lot of AI CSRs or AI type businesses. I don't want to call it just an AI CSR because we actually do a lot of things beyond just the customer service aspect. Obviously, I mentioned sales. There's also dispatch. There's a ton of stuff. But to kind of pull it back in, like I started Same Day AI because I came from home services. I was actually head of growth for what was the fastest growing home service company ever that I'm aware of. So
Where's that at?
it's called Aptive Environmental. So they had gone from 0 to about 500 million in annual recurring revenue in 6-ish years, 5-6 years, something like that.
That's fast. That's fast.
Yeah,
What did they
pretty
do?
wild, right? And I was also the CMO at another company, Alta Pest Control, and our CAC within the pest control industry was half of anyone else, and we were pretty big, 16 locations. And so I got poached over to Aptive. It's a whole story, but at both of those experiences, I was like, damn, the only thing stopping us from really just blowing it out of the water, like people are paying buku dollars to acquire a customer right now. But the only thing like to really hack this, because that's what I did in growth marketing, was to hack growth for people, was like to really scale our best salespeople and make sure we, one, obviously don't miss any of these leads. Like if you just make yourself available 24/7, your lead volume should go up like 30 to 50%. Right. And so I started in 2022 building an AI that could do this before ChatGPT, all that kind of stuff. And
but how did you learn AI? I'm just kind of curious. I'm going to stick with this.
Yeah.
How does Aaron Cooper wake up one day, smoking weed, having a drink, just say, you know what, I'm going to start playing around with AI? Because I can tell you this. I've never woke up one day and said, I'm going to go play with AI. I got forced into it, right? I got forced into it. I saw the change coming. I'm like, fuck, here we go again. I got to go learn this technology. And it's been great that I'm learning it. I'm understanding it. But like, I have the utmost respect for guys like you that have that creative mind. So tell me what made you go do it, and what gave you the idea? I'm just curious.
Yeah. I mean, I'd hired hundreds of CSRs, and it started out because I was like, man, we're missing tons of leads. And the first idea wasn't AI. It was actually, and I think a lot of people have this thought. It's like, man, I'm tired of having so many different browsers. I need to go to Angie's and then Google. And then, in our case, it was Field Routes, or in your case, Service Titan. Like, I was trying to figure out how I can consolidate all of this. And then I ran across a kid at BYU. So we weren't smoking weed at the time, or else I might not have had the good idea, but came across a kid at BYU who was like, hey, have you ever thought about AI to like respond to Facebook messages? I was like, wait, what do you mean AI? And so I just went deep in this process of figuring out what AI was. And this is before ChatGPT came out, and really quickly built an MVP. Like if you would have heard it now, you'd be like, that's complete garbage. But got some really big companies to start using it. And now it's blown up. We got in with a program called Y Combinator in San Francisco. They invested in us. We also had the CEO of GitHub, as well as like Apple Inc., like Apple's first AI engineer, invest in us in the early days, which really opened the doors for me as more of someone from the industry to have access to whatever's the latest and greatest in terms of like AI talent, stuff like that. And so from there, we've built on top of that. A lot of the AI that we use now, we built ourselves. And yeah, I mean,
I guess the question is because to be a CEO, you got to be a sales guy. You have great communication skills, Aaron. You talk well. You're one of the nicest people I know. You have a big heart. I've been around you a lot. What is it like being a CEO and having people's lives in your hands? And you have great growth. I mean, you've raised capital. I mean, I think you're on your second round right now, correct?
Yeah, done. Finally.
What's that like, though? Like, what's it like the first round? The second round is easier than the first round, right? I mean,
yeah.
Can you talk about that experience? Because I think a lot of people listening, they're always thinking, do I raise money? Don't I raise money? Do I do it myself? Can you talk about that?
I mean, we've taken a little bit of a different approach. So people believe, especially in the AI world, that it's all about velocity. Like you need to grow at all costs, right? I actually don't believe that's true. The reason I don't believe that you need to grow at all, you need to grow quickly. And keep in mind, we've grown nearly 1,000% this year, but we've done it profitably. Like that's a unicorn. Like to grow 1,000% and to have a burn multiple of 1, right? Like that doesn't happen, right? Like what indicates what the product works is that, right? Whereas other people might spend 10, 20 times more than us to acquire the same volume of customers. And like the reason being is like people, like these businesses, and I think this insight comes from having come from the trades, is like these AI people, like these AI, the agents, like they are an employee. Like our customers reference them as though they live and work in the office in many cases. And like,
Well, I mean, people are dating AI shit
yeah,
now. I mean, I'm not being rude. Like, I heard that. I was like, woo!
yeah.
Like, you're dating an AI bot. I'm like, yeah, they're dating them. I'm like, oh my God, the world's gone mad. But that's a whole nother conversation.
You know, I know it's absolutely wild. But yeah, no, we think that we believe and we know, because we cover thousands of locations now, that like each of these conversations that we have with your customers, it's like almost sacred, right? I don't know if that's the right word to say, but it's like, it's a really big deal. And a lot of like tech companies, they just look at things in a very transactional way in terms of like how the product works, how it interacts with people. They might look at the data and it could get better. But for us, we look at each of these conversations as like an opportunity to really drastically improve your business, create an awesome experience for your customers. And so because of that, we've been able to grow really, really fast with very little, like not little resources. We have great resources, but with a lot less than what is typical with how fast we're growing.
What you got, Neil?
No, I was just saying, was there a particular problem that sticks out that you've seen same day solve?
Have you seen, Neil wants to know, he's sitting here listening, is there a particular problem that you've seen with customers that same day seems to solve for customers? Great question there. That's why Nery's here. Nery just doesn't record this thing. He's in this thing.
Yeah. Is there a particular problem? I mean, we're coming out with new capabilities like literally every week.
No, but is there one that you see? Like for us, ours was CSR is the highest turnover that we had. Like we constantly were training CSRs is the highest. So that was a problem. That's why I agreed to bring AI in. Truthfully, I don't know how you met Bill or not. I think Bill was the one that made the relationship with you or Kelly. But mine was find us a tool that can answer our phones that we don't have to worry about quitting on us, because the answering services suck. Let me just be honest. The answering services suck. CSRs are great people, but in every home service, it's your number one turnover position, most likely, right? So if it's really a CSR position. Now, your receptionist has been there for 20 years. That's your stepmother or your grandmother or your sister-in-law's best friend. If it's truly building out and scaling a CSR team where metrics and KPIs are hit and you're a sales organization, it becomes a high turnover position, right? So that was our problem that you guys solved. Is something that is there other problems that you're seeing? That's what Nery's asking. Nery's in the mix, Aaron. Nery's in the mix. So you better bring your energy.
No, that's always been like the biggest wedge, right? To get into these businesses. It's like, what are we doing today? I've been sending it to a call center. Maybe it's in the Philippines or out of the country. Maybe it's not. It's okay. Or voicemail is just okay. And that's like that's not the hardest problem to solve, right? And that's where we started 4 years ago. And we still, every new company we bring on, that's one of the first things we do for them. Now, what we're doing.
How is that not the hardest problem to solve at first? I think you take it for granted because it's almost like the guy, right, that fights a fire, right? And after the 15th fire he fights, right? He's like, oh, well, going through the door is the easy part. Well, okay, I can tell you this. It'd be hard to get me to go through a burning building door unless my kids or wife was there. It'd be very hard to get me to go through the door.
Yeah.
So for me, the hardest thing to get these business owners I see is to answer their damn phones. They spend all this money on marketing. And step one is answer your phone 24/7 on the weekends, at night, have coverage and good coverage. And I'd be willing to bet 98% of all home service businesses do not have coverage. So totally. That's what I'm asking. Is that really step one, or are you just taking it for granted?
No, definitely. Like I said, every company, that's where we start. Like every company that comes to us, even now, we're starting there because it is such a huge issue and it's such a huge glaring opportunity. And there's really never been like a great solution for it, right? If you had an answering service, they probably didn't book into Service Titan. Like they were kind of a glorified voicemail in some ways.
100%.
So with the AI, like being able to actually take those calls 24/7, do everything a CSR would do, book them onto the dispatch board and everything, for sure. Now you asked me though, like outside of that, now like what are people having the biggest issues with? For us, we're focused on how can we take what are best practices. Like everyone goes, people pay you a lot of money to like learn what's the next thing I can do to take my business to the next level? Right? Like, how can I train my CSRs, or how can I run my dispatch board? How can I manage my service Titan account? What we're doing is we're taking all of those best practices and we're codifying them or building them into an AI agent that within the click of a button, you can do dispatch for dollars.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Service Titan and Rilla, our technology of choice to helping us scale and grow our business and making sure all of our viewers have the technology to scale their business so when they want to sell it, they're able to.
Right? Or within the click of a button, you can run fluid scheduling, right? And try it out. Like, it takes months for people to implement these things into their business. Like, we talk to PE groups all the time. They're like, hey, like, we can't get these managers of these locations we bought to start doing these things. Like, it's really hard.
You know why?
I mean, I have assumptions. I would, I think these businesses are their babies. That's my assumption, right? It's hard to change.
Human behavior is the hardest thing to change. Your computer behavior goes on your command.
Yeah.
I said all the time, like, human behavior is the hardest thing to change. Think about the guy that says every Monday I'm going to start my diet, or, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do this, or I've been doing this for 20 years. Well, just because you've been doing it for 20 years doesn't mean it's right. But your computer, when you command your computer to do something, technology never fails. The input of the end user always is what fails.
Yeah, 100%.
And you know that from being an AI. It's always the input gets you the wrong output. But if you give it the right input, you'll get the right output. And that goes for life. That's why I think the PE firms struggle, or everyone struggles. Even at LB Capital, we struggle sometimes. The only thing we have at LB Capital is we're so new, nimble, and we're so fast paced. Everyone knows if you're not willing to jump on the boat, you're probably going to get thrown off the boat real fast.
Yeah.
So you got to be willing to change. You've been around this environment, Aaron, where it's like, hey, we're rolling out Service Titan. Hey, we're rolling out same day AI. Hey, we're rolling out church. I don't care what the technology is. We're on high level here for the last 2 days and filling out every automation, building it out, it's all hands on deck. And I don't want to hear we don't use high level or you're gone.
Yeah, 100%.
Just different mindset, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people leave it up to be an option, Aaron. A lot of leaders will say, well, if my manager doesn't want to use same day AI, they don't have to. Well, of course he doesn't want to use it. It adds more work to him at first. What they don't realize is it takes a lot of work away after it's implemented.
Yeah. And you guys have been on the platform for a long time. You've seen it change and grow and get and improve for a year and a half now. And in the AI world, that could be 100 years.
Business.
Yeah.
It's changed our business. It's listen, our CSRs get sick. We use it mainly for the CSR bookings, if I'm correct, Aaron?
Yeah. And Angie,
right?
And things like that.
And Angie and all that stuff. But that's where we see it. CSRs get sick. People call out. We don't have night coverage. We used to use this company. I'm not going to blast them. Fuck it, I will. They were terrible. It was called Newtown Answering Service, right? And you'll laugh at this. I used them at 3 of my companies. And one day I called them up and I said, listen, man, this is my 7th time calling you. And I'm the one that gets the lead, and nobody actually sent me the lead to my phone, right? So finally on Monday, I called and I asked to speak to a manager. And they're like, yeah, we can't find any of those calls to us. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh,
why would I lie to you? So their answer was so bizarre to me, right? Yeah. And we immediately went, at the time, because AI wasn't around, it was like 8 years ago, 9 years ago, maybe 7. We just went and said, leave it to voicemail. We felt like voicemail was a better solution than them. And that was probably our 3rd or 4th answering service. Here, we don't have those problems with same day or any of our tech stack that we use because it doesn't fail. Now, granted, can same day AI go down if something happens to a server? Sure. But overall, how often does that happen?
Well, remember your power went out when I was at your office? You guys have been using us for like 6 months. You guys had a backup generator and everything, and it didn't kick on.
It didn't turn on. It didn't kick on. That was in our old Bristol building. You're right. Correct.
Yeah.
But same day actually works still.
Yeah, it was still answering. I think it was out for like a couple hours, if I remember correctly.
It was out for almost the whole day. It was out for a day and a half, right, Neary? They went home. We sent home. The next day it didn't work, and it was still, your product was working still, going right into Service Titan, and that night, like 4 o'clock, it was down for about 24 hours, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah. So, and I just want to make sure to emphasize, like, that kind of stuff, like the AI being available 24/7, that's table stakes, right? You need to be able to rely on it. Now what we're saying is that, hey, we've built an AI that actually can outperform the best people that you know, right? That's what we're gunning for. We're training these AI models to understand.
Do you think it's there yet? Do you think it's there yet?
Dude, it's pretty damn good. Yeah. I mean,
I know it's good, but I look at some of my CSRs and I wonder that sometimes too. And I'm like, but these people are so loyal to us. They're so good to us. I mean, and they are, and they do a nice job.
Yeah.
I do think the CSRs having that human touch in my office to be able to talk to my project managers at times, be able to talk to my salespeople. So like, yeah, like,
Yeah.
listen, I know some people got rid of all their CSRs and only go with same day. I know that because I know a few guys that have done it and they said it was the best thing they did. But, you know, I think it depends what kind of company you want to be if you decide to do that.
And we never,
I don't think there's a right or wrong answer there. I think it's what you want to do.
We've never told someone to let go of a single employee. We actually never even, like, we tell our salespeople, like, we're priced really competitively. It's actually, you know, people say we should increase our prices, but whatever. But like, we've actually never told a customer like, hey, you should go fire your team or we're going to replace your whole team. We actually never even mention on the calls that we're going to save you money. Because I think that should be expected. Like, you should expect an hour by hour that AI is going to save you money. Like, that's for sure. What we try to emphasize is that, dude, this thing is going to create revenue that you never even realized before. Like, you didn't even know you had on the table, right? Not only by just getting those overflow or after hour calls, but actually looking for opportunities and going a step above and beyond, like outbounding and all this kind of stuff. Like, we're building these playbooks for processes that people have only dreamt of.
What's your biggest objection? Like, how many salespeople do you have?
Like 8.
What's their close rate?
Close rate, it's like 82%.
I'd fire them all. Fire them all.
82%.
This is the easiest product to sell. You want me to sell it? You want? Should I role play this right now with them? Okay, let's go. Give me an objection. Give me your number one objection. Give it to me. Huh?
Number one objection. Oof.
Thank you. Come on, lay it into me, Aaron. We're live time. I'm coming in. I'm gunning down all your people. All 8 people are gone. As I tell you're gonna hire Lance Bachmann lookalike.
Yeah, I would say I'd say nowadays, I mean, we're closing 82% with almost every demo going up against a competitor. So
don't worry about the competition. I pulled my way from everybody else. Let's go.
Exactly. What are the biggest objections we get today? I'm still not sure if my customers will love it.
Okay, no doubt. Aaron, and I can appreciate that. And then a lot of people feel the way you do. But if this is working for thousands of other businesses, and I got Lance Bachmann over at LB Capital using it, and they're doing over $100 million a year, and his customers don't know the difference, and they love it, and it's helped him scale and be more profitable. Is that something that you think you would want also, Aaron?
Oh, hell yeah.
Aaron, would you agree that all these people using us would have fired and terminated us, and we wouldn't be a profitable company, and we wouldn't be growing by 1,000% this year if the product didn't work the way I'm telling you?
No, that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, Aaron, I'm asking for your trust to move forward for the next 9 months to year. The hardest challenge you're going to have is implementing AI, same day AI. But once we have it implemented to your business, after 6 months to 9 months, it'll be the best decision you ever made. I'm going to ask you for your trust one time to move forward, letting you know there's going to be a little friction of the implementation. But after that, we're going to help you save money. We're going to give your customers a better experience. Would you like to move forward today, Aaron?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't see why not.
That's it. Like, the product works. All your guys should be doing is fucking talking and showing the results of other people that are happy. All these customers are the same.
Yeah.
Like, if that's the easiest objection in the world, like, customers don't care. They don't even know it's AI. I didn't know it's AI when I get calls near. Yes or no? I get calls from AI people, and I'm talking to them like they're real at first. I'm like, oh shit, man, they got me. It's an AI bot, right? Yeah, I get text. Yeah, our roofing conference uses it. Like, our roofing conference, December 3rd and 5th on Marco Island. You're going to be there.
Hell
like,
yeah.
Think about this. we have less than 5 elite VIP tickets. We're 6 weeks out. We have less than 5 elite VIP tickets left. We only have, I think, 40 VIP tickets left, less than 40. We got less than 40 VIP tickets left. So everyone else is going to be, that's unheard of 6 weeks out for a conference. And we're just using AI. We're using high level, like all technology, right? And like people are like, Lance, you got such a big staff. That's why. I got 2 salespeople doing the conference, 2.
Wow.
2 people, and they're doing the masterminds. They do everything else.
Well, at Pantheon, I was begging you to let more people in. I mean, obviously we're the title, we're not title sponsor, but we're a diamond sponsor. We invested quite a bit into it. And so you're like, dude, I think we're at capacity. I'm like, no, keep bringing more people. Obviously, we
keep it to 800-900. And the reason why is this, and people are like, why wouldn't you make it bigger? And I think me. I think relationships are really important, Aaron. I think they're very important. I got to eat breakfast with you and we got to talk. I think if there's bigger conferences that have 10,000, 5,000, 3,000 people, I think it's hard to build good, real, healthy relationships. It's really, really hard, right? Because they're having big parties. It's all about the dinners and the parties. And I mean, you've been to my conference. It's not about that at all. It's quite the opposite. It's about being in the room. It's about working, getting the knowledge, then going to my partners, because almost of the 80 partners we have there, people call them vendors. I hate that word, but partners, like almost 75% of them are people LB Capital does business with, meaning, right? I know they work. I know the product works. I know they're a trusted source. I know they're a good company. I could stamp everyone and say, listen, if you go to these digital agencies, if you go to Same Day AI, if you go to, Rilla, if you go to service, I know you're going to have a great experience here, right? I know if you use Green Sky, I know you use Beacon, right? You're going to have a great experience here, or you should, right? I know things go sideways. You have upset clients sometimes. I get upset clients. That's just business, right? Yeah. But overall, so we want to keep it small for the relationship, for the network. I mean, think about this. You said when you opened this up, you didn't even realize, I should have talked to you about it, why relationships are so important. You said you got the Apple guy, you got the other investor, and it opened up all these other avenues for you. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do with the conference. Makes sense? I got the private equity firms coming. I got Alloy. I got Canopy. I got other private equity firms coming I have relationships with because they want to buy some of these companies, right? I have the abundance mindset, right? Totally. So I think you talk about why relationships are so important, especially in your business, Aaron.
Well, I mean, even our partnership, one thing I've said this a few times, I was like, dude, sure. We sponsor the roofing process conference, we put money out for that. Only natural, right? But LBU, Lance, we couldn't even get to that point until you had used our product for a significant amount of time, right? And you looked at all other products. You worked with us in your office.
We tested other products against your product. We tested other products.
For sure. 100%. And we encourage people to, right? I think some of our competitors, I'll just side tangent, will pay people to not look at us. We encourage it, right? And that's all I'll say.
We tested other people and you were the winner by far. It wasn't even close.
Totally. But what I'm saying though is as far as relationships go, as someone, where obviously there's opportunities for me as a company to come put money forward and sponsor an event. You didn't just take our money. You wanted to make sure that one, we were good people. When you recommend someone, you can put your stamp on it, like you were saying, right? And that's super important. And for us, when we're looking for partners and even events to sponsor, that's probably the most important thing. We'll oftentimes walk away from partnerships if it's just about the money. And so
if it's only about the money, it's probably not going to work. And I tell people that because you start fighting over pennies and you wind up losing dollars. And I just said to people all the time, I agree. I make no money off my conference. So I tell people, and people are like, most people that have conferences don't make money off their conferences. They use it the conference why I got into it. And I'll be very transparent. I got tired of seeing all the people in home services that never made it. They had these conferences. They never sold a company. They never built a company. And I was like, no, I'm done. I'm going to go help people truly build businesses that they can scale and grow and sell. And that's why we're changing the conference name to build it to sell it. This is the last year being called the Roofing Process Conference because probably 75% of the people there are roofers, but 25 is HVAC and painters and other people that have helped in home services. So next year, it's going to be built. Everything. My coaching group is going to be built to sell it. Masterminds are going to be built to sell it. Like, that's just what I believe in. If you build a company from the beginning and you give it the foundation and it gets profitable, you're going to make a good life for yourself overall. I mean, it's amazing to me that Same Day is still profitable in such an infancy stage. Can you talk to me about that?
Yeah, I think we had to. Well, obviously, you've seen a lot of, like, we've been doing this for years before most anyone else. We're actually the first company, to my knowledge, and this is from pretty notable VCs and people that have mentioned this to us, but the first company in the world to actually start answering phone calls with generative AI. Like, a lot of the stuff we built ourselves. And so once ChatGPT came out and it blew up, it got more competitive. A lot of more just technical people wanted to get into the trades. And we were like, we can play the game or we can make the rules and define the rules for ourselves.
Ooh.
And so we set, like, our motto, like, on the wall is win on our own terms. Right. And so we have that here. When we make decisions, like, that's how we make the decisions. Like, somebody wants to go throw a gajillion dollars at a partner or something like that, like, by all means. Right. And because of that, it's allowed us to do something that's never been done before that I'm aware of. Like, I mean, it's been done, but to grow so much and to do it without burning a ton of money, like, that alone in software is a pretty big deal.
It is. It is. Here's a question for you. What's it like sitting in meetings raising money? Because a lot of people think they can do it, but it's like getting a colonoscopy. They want to see the data room. They want to see all the stats, data, numbers, customer churn, customer growth, acquisition cost, profitability, how many salespeople you have, how they're doing. They want to see your They want to see everything. They want what blood type do you have, Aaron?
Dude, I mean, there's some things about me that most people don't know. Like, I've kind of lived a couple different lives. I mentioned I tried, for next year, we talked about getting a certain guest to speak at the conference next year.
Yeah.
That the guy that did Sound of Freedom.
100%.
Yeah. So I used to go with those. I used to do undercover ops with those guys. So I used to go undercover. Like, there was an op. It's been a couple years now. Obviously, I've been full time on Same Day, but like, I went from going undercover with having the VP of Mexico on speed dial because the cartel down in Cancun is going to pick me up at the airport, right? Like, in case I'm about to get my head cut off, I can call the VP of Mexico and they'll, like, come save me, right? Like, I'm used to that. So getting in with investors and stuff is not, not scary. And the thing that drives me crazy is I've started an e-commerce company that went to 30 million in subscriptions, right, in 2 years. I've done it in the trades at the highest levels. The hardest thing with investors is just having to explain yourself to people that don't know the industry, particularly in the trades, right? You can get my data room, and I've had investors, the things you'll hear from investors is crazy. They're like, hey, you gave me too much data. I've had we just closed funding. I had 2 investors say, hey, you're too honest. We want you to be. How much money did you raise
on your second round?
I don't want to draw comparisons and put it out in the world, but we could talk about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, congratulations. I know how hard it is to raise money. So can you name the people that funded it?
So we had a big strategic investor come through, and they asked us not to tell people. Yeah. So obviously you and I can talk about it, but that being said, like, the investor world, it is what it is. It's like almost there's we have great investors, Ludlow Ventures out of Detroit. Awesome guys. Like, literally get on the phone with them in the early days and they were like, hey, could we start calling your customers and helping you onboard people? Like, obviously Nat Friedman, Daniel Gross, the GitHub and the Apple guy, literally locked us in a basement for several weeks in San Francisco. Are you familiar with the company called Perplexity?
Yeah.
So they invested in us, Perplexity, and like 8 other companies, and locked us in a basement like 3 years ago and said, hey, like, let's do this together. This was a month before ChatGPT came out. So they took us and introduced us to Sam Altman, and we got to hang out with Sam Altman from OpenAI. They had the founders of, like, Instagram, all of these companies come through into this just random basement and work through all of this stuff. Like, real scrappy stuff. It was awesome. But now that we've gotten to a certain scale, we have to like play the more sophisticated investor game. And it's, you know, it's a bit, it's, I don't know, a necessary evil, I guess, at this point. But
Oh, that. I mean, you get investors, you got bosses. I tell people that.
yeah.
LB Capital doesn't have any investors. Thank God. Now, I could be a lot bigger. Like people say all the time, you'd be a lot bigger. Yeah, money makes you go a lot faster. It does. And then the investors also, if they're right investors, they give you access to other things to grow. You know, I'm not saying I'll never not take investors. Just right now, as we're growing, you know, I just don't see the reason for it right now. But, you know, we'll take a look at it. Aaron, listen, if I want to get a hold of you and someone wants to check out Same Day AI, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple ways. I like every time someone signs up with Same Day, they're going to get a message from me where I'm going to do what's called a lunch and learn as a CEO. And I want to get in a room with all of your CSRs, your CSR manager, and personally go through the performance of the AI after the first week or two. And so because of that, like I'm open. People can reach out to me directly on LinkedIn is probably best, Aaron G. Cooper, or to our website at gosameday.com or sameday.ai. Either will work, whatever you can remember the best. You can schedule a demo there. You can reach out to me directly on LinkedIn or at my email, which is just aaron@gosameday.com. And, you know, we'll make sure you're taken care of.
Listen, I look forward to seeing you at the conference this year. What was your experience at the conference last year? What did you think of it?
I'll be honest. And in a good way, I'll be a good honest. Like we did not know what to expect. I think we signed up for it like a week or two before it was happening. Like we heard about it. I think we had talked with Kelly once in terms of like you guys becoming a customer, heard about the conference, signed up for it somehow. Like we called you guys and begged you guys to give us a spot. And I think you like added a table or something.
We're sold out this year. Sponsorships have been sold out.
Oh, for sure. No, they were sold out then. I think we begged and pleaded. We begged and pleaded enough. I'm pretty sure you guys literally added, you know, I don't want to commit you to anything this year, but you added a table for us. Dude, we booked, it was me and one other guy. Like we booked 80 companies or something like that. Like for a last minute, that's pretty good.
How many did you sell?
I mean, our close rates at the time, this was last year, was 60, 70%. Like that's pretty consistent. Now it's obviously gotten better. So you can do that.
It's funny because we've been sold out of sponsorships for probably 3-4 weeks now. Yeah, we're in October, mid-October. Yeah, we've sold out almost first week of September. And people are still reaching out to us saying they either came back to us that we were talking to, or they are reaching out to us now. We heard about the conference. And people don't understand, if you don't take a spot right away, I can't add sponsorship, keep adding sponsors. And it's funny, I was talking to another guy that runs conferences, like, well, just start selling other shit. I'm like, well, then people are going to be upset that you just sold them shit, and I'm not doing that. And you can only have so many sponsors for so many people because you want everyone to get leads from it, right? And I'm just like, it's a balancing act. So, like, of course, I want to take the more money of other people that want to sponsor the show. But if I do that, I water down the show. Yeah. And it's not going to be a good show for my sponsors. And sponsors are the ones that actually pay for the show. Most people don't know that. The tickets are mostly covering the meal, the food for that person attending. Most people don't know that.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Aaron?
No.
Yeah, like the sponsors are the ones that make the show and really pay for the majority of speakers, what's going on, the room, all the lights, the bands, everything. You know, when you're putting $2 million out to put a conference on, you need to have sponsors because you're only going to sell realistically $400,000 or $500,000 in tickets. Yeah. So we do the balancing act of the budget of, hey, we're gonna. What was our budget? $1.5 million for sponsors, $500,000 in tickets. Yeah, this year. It's 1.5 and 500. So to get $2 million conference, about 25% of it is ticket sales, right? And the other 1 point is sponsors. So people don't realize is the tickets. I mean, think about this. The ticket's only $600, Aaron. Yeah. So like that's why there's a balancing act. So I tell everyone, when you're looking at conferences, commit to it sooner or later. And when you have these big conferences that just keep adding and adding people, that's why you're better off increasing your price for sponsorship because they'll love you because they're getting leads than you are having more and more sponsors. Yeah. But listen, we appreciate you. I love having you. We're going to do this live down in Marco Island, and I want to have you on the podcast down there. Listen, you're a great human being. You have a great product. Everyone check out Same Day AI and stop by their booth and get to know Aaron because he's a great dude and he has a ton of information about home services. And he's not going to just sell you on Same Day AI, which that's his job, right? That's his job. He'll also help you with other parts of your business, like he has
100%.
with mine. So reach out to Aaron, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Lance.
Aaron, thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, likewise. I appreciate you, directing me a bit.